19. The second lot came out from the tribe of Simeon, clan by clan. Their inheritance lay within the territory of Judah. It included Beersheba or Sheba, Mordecai, Hebron, Shiloh, Bala, Ethem, Eltod, Bethel, Horman, Zikling, Bet, Markop, Hazar, Suez, Bet, Labotut, and Sihon, 13 towns and their villages. Ain, Rimmon, Eter, and Ashen bore towns and their villages, and all the villages around these towns are as far as Beer, Ramah in the Neb. This was the inheritance of the tribe of the Simeonites, clan by clan. The inheritance of the Simeonites was taken from the share of Judah because Judah's portion was more than they needed, so the Simeonites received their inheritance within the territory of Judah. The third lot came up to the Jerusalem, clan by clan. The boundary of their inheritance went as far as Charlotte. Going west, it ran to Meribah, touched the Bethlehem, and extended to the Raven and near Jokin. It turned east from Sarid toward the sunrise to the territory of Kithra-Tabor, and went on the territory of Japhir. Then it continued eastward to Gath Harper, and then turned toward Nebo. There the boundary went around the north of the Hentian and ended the valley in Apin and El. Included were Kenatian, Nali, Simorn, Idol, and Bethlehem. There were 12 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of Jubilean, clan by clan. The lot came out of the Issachar, clan by clan. Their territory included Jero, Costis, Shun, Hapkis, Sihon, Anata, Rabita, Kishran, Abis, Ramat, and Gurkis, in Hadad and Beth Paris. The boundary touched the Tabor, Seshes, and Beth Shemesh, and ended the Jordan. There were 16 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Issachar, clan by clan. The fifth lot came out of the tribe of Asher, clan by clan. Their territory included Harka, Hale, Bethin, Exas, Elamis, Ahmad, Miscus. On the west boundary touched Carmel and Seher Levitin. It then turned eastward Beth Dagon and touched Deborah and the valley of the Apin El, and went north to Beth Amok and near passing Kerber on the left. It went to Abaddon, Rahab, Hamon, and Cana as far as the Greater Sidon. The boundary then turned back toward Ramah and went to the fortified city of Terror, turned toward Hassan, and came out at the sea in the region of Exbas, Umma, Apix, and Ripov. There were 22 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Asher, clan by clan. The sixth lot came out of the Naphtali, clan by clan, and their boundary went from Helpa on the large tree in Jerusalem, passing Adamin, Naka, and Jabron to Lichtened and ending on the Jordan. The boundary ran west through Asrinet to Tabor and came out at the Hakkus. It touched Jerusalem on the south, Asher on the west, and Jordan on the east. The fortified cities were Jidam, Jer, Hamat, Rakas, Nitran, Adama, Rama, Hasar, Kenneth, Idra, and Hasar, Iran, Megad El, Horn, Bat Arnat, and Bat Shemesh. There were 19 towns and their villages. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Naphtali, clan by clan. The seventh lot came out of the tribe of Dan, clan by clan. The territory of their inheritance included Jorah, Esther, Ersinus, Shermas, Azalorn, Etark, Eldon, Timab, Ikron, Elatus, Gilbert, Balat, Jehud, Ben Brek, Gat Rimmon, Me, Jerkin, and Raccoon, with the area bracing Joppa. But the Danists had difficulty taking possessions of their territory, so they went up and attacked Leshem, took it, put in the sword, and occupied it. They settled in Leshem and named it Dan after their forefathers. These towns and their villages were the inheritance of the tribe of Dan, clan by clan. When they had finished dividing the land into its allotted portion, the Israelites gave Joshua son of Nun an inheritance among them, as the Lord had commanded. They gave him the town he asked for, Timothy Sarah, in the hill country of Irpan, and he built up the town and settled there. There are the territories that Ezra the priest, Joshua son of Nun, and head of the tribal clans of Israel, assigned by lot at Zion in the presence of the Lord at the entrance of the tent of meeting. And so they finished dividing the land. 20th. Then the Lord said to Joshua, tell the Israelites that you find the city of refuge, as I instructed you through Moses, so that anyone who kills a person accidentally and unintentionally may bleed there and find protection from the avenger of blood. When he bleeds to one of these cities, he is to stand in the entrance of the city gate and state his case before the elders of the city. Then they are to admit him into their city and give him a place to live with them. If the avenger of blood pursues him, they must not surrender the one accused, because he killed his neighbor unintentionally and without malice afterward, stood trial before the assembly and serving at that time. Then he may go back to his own home in the town from which he fled. So they set apart Kadesh in Galilee, in the hill country of Naphtali, second in the hill country of Ephraim, the Kirish Judah, on the east side of the Jordan of Jericho. They disseminated Bezer in the desert, on the plateau in the tribe of Reuben, Ramoth in Gilead in the tribe of Gad, and Golan in the Bashan in the tribe of Manasseh. Any of the Israelites or any alien living among them who killed someone accidentally could flee to this destination cities and not be killed by the avenger of blood prior to standing trial before the assembly. 21. Now the family heads of the Levites approached Israel, the priest Joshua son of Nun, and the heads of the other tribe family of Israel at Zion in the Canaanites, and said to them, the Lord commanded through Moses that you give us town to live in, and the purchase for our livestock. So as the Lord had commanded, the Israelites gave the Levites the following towns and pastured them out of their own inheritance. The first lot came out of the Korah's clan by clan. The Levites who were descendants of Aaron the priest were allotted their 10 towns from the tribe of Judah, Simeon and Benjamin. The rest of Caleb's descendants were allotted 10 towns from the clans of the tribe of Ephraim, Dan and the half of the Manasseh. The descendants of Gershon were allotted 13 towns from the clan of the tribe of Issachar, Asher, Naphtali, and the half tribe of Manasseh in Bashan. The descendants of Merari, clan by clan, received 12 towns from the tribe of Reuben, Gad, and Zebulun. So the Israelites allotted the Levites these towns and their villages, as the Lord had commanded through Moses. From the tribe of Judah and Simeon they allotted the following towns by name. These towns were assigned by the descendants of Aaron, who were from the Canaanites clan of Levites, because the first lot fell to them. They gave them Kiryat Arba, that is Hebron, with its surroundings pastured in the hill country of Judah. Arba was the forefathers of Anak, but the fields and villages around the city they had given to Caleb, son of Jephunneh, as his possessions. So to the descendants of Aaron, the priest, they gave Hebron, a city of refuge for one accused of murder. Libnah, Jethro, Estoma, Holon, Debir, and Judah, and Beth-Simon, together with their possessions, 9 towns from their 2 tribes, and from the tribe of Benjamin they gave to Gibeon, Geba, another Anathoth, and Armon, together with their possessions, 4 towns. All the towns of the priests, the descendants of the Aaron, were 13, together with their possessions. The rest of the current clans of the Levites were allotted towns from the tribe of Ephraim. In the hill country of Ephraim, they were given Skrin, a city of refuge, for one accused of murder, the Gezer, Kippus, and Beth Hormon, together with their pursuers, 4 towns. Also from the tribe of Dan, they received Elak, Gibeon, Ascris, and Gath-Rimmon, together with their pastors, 4 towns. From half of the tribe of Manasseh, they received Tanakh and Gath-Rimmon, together with their pastors, 2 towns. All these 10 towns and their pastures were given to the rest of the Korah's clans. The Levites clans of Gershon were given. For the half tribe of Manasseh, Gordon in Bashan, a city of refuge for one accused of murder, and be escorted together with their persons to towns. From the tribe of Issachar, Hezron and Dabir, Jarmuth and Ingam, together with their persuaded land, were towns. From the tribe of Bashur, Mizas, Abdon, Harkat, and Rabbath, together with the persuaded four towns. From the tribe of Naphtali, Kadesh in Galilee, a city of refuge, were one accused of murder. Humility, Dor, and Curtain, together with the pastors, three towns. All the towns of the Kershites clans were 13, together with their possession lands. The Mercan clans, the rest of the Levites, were given. From the tribe of Jebulun, Joachim, Karta, Dima, and Nahal, together with their Persian lands, were towns. From the tribe of Rabian, Basra, Hazar, Kedmort, and Hebron, together with their pastoral lands, were towns. From the tribe of Gad, Ramoth in Gilead, a city of refuge, were one accused of murder. Manhima, Hesbon, and Jazer, together with their lands, were towns in all. All the towns allotted to the Mernah clans, who were the rest of the Levites, were 12. The towns of the Levites in the territory held by the Israelites were 48 in all, together with their pursuits. Each of these towns had a pestilence surrounding it. This was true for all these towns. So the Lord gave Israel all the land he had sworn to give their forefathers, and they took possession of it and settled there. The Lord gave them a rest on every side, just as he had sworn to their forefathers. Not one of their enemies withstood them. The Lord handed their enemies over to them. Not one of them all the Lord's good promises to the house of Israel failed. Every one was fulfilled.